I'm sitting here in the hotel lobby here in Nassau, Bahamas. It's good to be on Abaco. Always good to go, always good to come. And it reminds me, a story came to mind where Stalin, everybody knows Stalin. If you know Stalin as one of them great so-called leaders back then, and he picked the all the feathers off the chicken. And of course, the chicken was bleeding and hurting. And Stalin then put the chicken back on the ground, bleeding and hurting because Stalin picked every feather out of the chicken. He put some crumbs on the ground. Bit by bit, the chicken began to follow it. The man that just picked all the feathers out of them, all the feathers he picked out of the chicken, still bleeding, still hurting, and he put crumbs on the ground. And Stalin looked at his people. He said, that's how easy it is to govern y'all. And I see the same thing to Abaconians, especially after Hurricane Dorian, Hurricane Nicole, two hurricanes. If the PLP were to strike up an election, although they picked all the feathers off of you, leave you hurting and bleeding, so is Darren Henfield. Darren Henfield has built two structures, never had any indication of coming back to Abaco, nor less have an Airbnb and an office set up in Grace Avenue, right next to where Darren office is. One is manager, one is general. It is so hot in Abaco, living in a trailer, she has to put plastic over the trailer to try to stop the heat. But she just like the chicken that Stalin plucked. If election were called, all Darren's got to do is give her a t-shirt, a hat to wear, two collect, some pork chop, chicken, and ribs, and they back to following. They forgot that the same Darren, the same F&M, the same PLP, the same Kirk Cornish has plucked them to a point to leave them hurting and bleeding, but they still go back and vote PLP and F&M because they're just the average. They're just being programmed poorly in this country that they can't see that Kai Mills is just trying to give them the information while the government is plucking everything from them. High electricity, high gas, high road work, high hole in the roads, but they still will do the same thing while we're bleeding and hurting, and Kai is trying to tell them there is another way. I am not going to pluck you until you're bleeding and hurting. All Kai tried to do is try to make life easier for the residents of Abaco by giving them information, correct information, because Kai cares. That's why he's here.